Here to introduce this morning's senior speaker is Julius Cartwright.
Rich is a special child. I spend more time with him than I do anyone else in this world, and it's really sad. Although he's a cool kid with a smooth swagger, Rich can be really annoying at times. Of course, he has his moments of greatness, all the times when he does his thing on the b-ball court, but there's also the times when Rich says the dumbest things ever. Rich and I constantly argue about the dumb stuff he says. Rich has tried to convince me that chipmunks are baby squirrels, that Miley Cyrus is dating R. Kelly, that all deer weigh well over 600 pounds, how every good-looking girl we see would like him if they talked, and how every party he hears is big is going to be the party of the year. If you ever hear Rich say, "Dude, you trying to go to this party? It's supposed to be the party of the year. Don't go." In fact, just run. If you happen to make the horrible mistake of going, then you'll probably instantly realize this is the worst party ever, and there are only two people there, you and Rich. But in all seriousness, Rich is a good kid, an excellent basketball player, someone who you can call at any time for help or advice. He's nice and like a brother to me. And now to talk about something very important to the both of us, my baby brother, Richard Lawrence Morrow, Jr.
Woo, buddy. The senior speech. Oh, my Lord. Good morning. Good morning. My first experience at US, I shadowed Nolan Thompson my freshman year and witnessed my first senior speech. Ever since, I have thought about if I had the opportunity to give a senior speech, what I would talk about. The thought process has evolved over the years, and it wasn't until about a month ago that I realized there's only one topic I feel I should share today with all of you. Those of you who may not know me very well might know that I love basketball, joke around a lot. I'm that kid from Orange, or that guy that acts like Julius. But for those of you that do know me well, you know that there's a lot more to me than just that. I know many of your first thoughts when you saw me up here was that I'd speak to you about basketball being my passion or something of that sort. My own mom even thinks that, mainly because for the past 2 weeks I've been telling her that basketball would be what I'm writing my speech on. Sorry, Mom, but I lied. So although that thought process did cross my mind, I feel I have a stronger message that many of you may not know. Today I'm going to speak to you about someone who I want to give a little bit of recognition to. I apologize ahead of time to anyone who might be grading me on this speech, if it's not your traditional senior speech or whatever. If it's too long, it's Fazio. This is a moment I've been waiting on for 3 years, and I'm going to do it my way because I'm already nervous, as you can see. This damn mic. Oh, my God. Ever since I can remember, people have been telling me that I'm different. Not different in a bad way, but special different. And those who say that pretty much have this preconceived notion that I'm going to be successful one day, whether it be in a sport, business, or anything else. Of course, that is something every kid wants to hear, but hearing it and trying to fulfill that expectation is a goal that I am just now, after 17 years, starting to see as possible, yet much harder than it sounds. Someone doesn't just end up being successful just because people say they will be. You have to put in work for it. But years ago, I realized the reason they thought I would be successful wasn't just because they liked me or felt that I stood out from everyone else. Yet I believe it's because of a certain individual. Those of you who are close to me know that there's one person in my life who means more than anything in the world to me. That woman over there, my mom, Selena. Some of you may know her as just a loud fan at basketball games with the camera, but to me, she's my angel, my light, and my inspiration. Hell, she's pretty much the reason for everything you see standing right here in front of you at this podium. That's an amazing woman right there, and they don't make very many like her. I want to take this day to thank you for being the first person to give me faith, confidence, and so much more. Many people who told me I would be different did so because they knew she wouldn't allow me to be unsuccessful. My mom and I have been through it all together, and I wish I knew where to begin. I've never met a woman so motivated and devoted to fighting for what she believes in my entire life. For as long as I can recall, you've never lost sight of shaping me into a man who's going to be successful, confident, and independent. And you've done as great of a job that anyone could ask for. Believe it or not, I was actually listening to you over the years when you would yell at me to get your points across. Yes, even when I would just sit there saying, okay. Sometimes I know I may not show how appreciative I am for you giving me a childhood that is not anything less than perfect, and I apologize. I wrote this speech for you just to show you how much I really do care. Many of you may not know, but I'm an only child. As a young boy, contrary to the stereotype of only children, I was never spoiled or allowed to whine about what I did not have. My mom taught me that anything I want in life, I will have to earn, and that nothing's going to be handed to me. In fact, she said if it is handed to you, it's probably not worth having in the first place. Many of my friends believe that being an only child, I got everything I wanted and that I was lucky. I thought of things from a different point of view. Being an only child may look great from the outside, but it is not as much fun as people may believe. First off, the loneliness is never fun. Being an only child may look great from the outside. Oh, sorry about that. Well, I've spent more time alone than most kids with siblings, and it's taken its toll on me. This has its advantages and disadvantages. Sometimes being alone can be very relaxing because you don't have to care about someone bothering you when you're in a bad mood or constantly having to watch what you do because someone else is always around. But being alone, however, gets very old. Sometimes I do want someone to talk to or want someone to play games with, or just someone to simply keep me company when I get bored. Not having someone to talk to leads me to a lot of thinking. My friends tell me all the time, Rich, you think too much. But I can't really help it. When I'm annoyed or upset about something, I have learned to deal with my problems on my own instead of expressing them to other people all the time. I don't have much of a problem coming to a conclusion because I have seen my mom handle a lot of things on her own for years. I was always told by my mom, you can't learn to live with someone until you learn to live with yourself. The phrase has stuck with me ever since the first time I heard it. By her explaining to me that I can't always rely on someone else to do things for me, I've developed into an independent individual. And I've learned that if I want something done, the one person in the world I know I can always count on is myself. Ultimately, in my opinion, this way of thinking has shaped me into a man who can function on his own once I'm out doing my own thing. Although my mom can't teach me how to be a man, she has taught me the importance of being able to use what I know and who I am to be a strong, self-sufficient person. And she's even given me the space to learn through things through my own experience. I thank you. The whereabouts of my father, I'm sure, has crossed the minds of a couple of you now. Having only one parent may seem to be worse than having two, but I don't accept that assumption. When I was about 3 or 4 years old, my dad left my dad and my mom, or my dad and me, my mom and me.